Hello, everybody. I would like to officially welcome you to Comic Book Advocates on Geek Radio America. And this is going to be a series of radio programs. As a matter of fact, it is going to be comic advocating across the airwaves. So, we're going to talk about what this program is going to be and how we're going to do it. Now, of course, let's start with what the site comicbookadvocates.com is. Comicbookadvocates.com is where the love of comics comes first. And we do a lot of things on Comic Book Advocates that you guys should know about. So let's start off right away with us doing a weekly program or a weekly thread. It becomes a program as we go to TikTok. Mr. Anderson, that's me, will get to know me a little bit more in the show a little later on, or in a different segment, I should say, because that's what we're going to be giving you. Every week, you're going to get 4 segments for us. We're going to talk about crowdfunding. We're going to talk about where to go. We're going to do interviews, but let's try to keep on track. Now, one thing you'll get to know is that I have ADHD, and you're going to hear my ADHD brain at times run, but I promise I'll always get us back to where we have to go. So, our main site, where the love of comics comes first, gives you the opportunity to find out about crowdfunding. It gives you the opportunity to find out about the upcoming events that are going to be happening. We also have, as I was saying, a thread. It's called the Indie News Wire. Week 6 is when I recorded this, but you'll be listening to it in week 7. So you know there's a slight delay between me recording this and it going live to your ears. So we might not always have the most breaking news, but we're going to bring you the most important things to know as this program grows. This is our first week, so we're going to play the introduction week where we talk a lot about the things that we do so you know who you're listening to and know where to follow and how to follow. So one of the cool things we did on our site, by the way, is integrate tweets. That's right. We have Twitter feeds directly into our site, so we don't have to be the only ones giving you the news. As a matter of fact, you can get the news from many different sources, which is something that I think is so important for you guys to be able to experience the aspects of different opinions and different news sources. Now, I'm going to try to give you as few opinions as I can, get you as many facts as I can. Outside of the interview segments, we're going to be just talking about factual stuff. But the Indie News Wire gives the opportunity for independent creators to showcase their different works. As a matter of fact, I went ahead and renamed Indie and changed its spelling. It's still Indie, but ours is a little different. Ours is INDEE, which is Independent, Next Gen, Diverse, Endless Entertainment. We made Indie stand for something. One of the things it stands for, like I was talking about, is crowdfunding campaigns and helping advocate for those. And one of the ways we advocate for crowdfunding campaigns is through a program called Paws. Paws is a whole different monster. It's a beast of advocating, but it also shows when potential backers could experience something known as Paws. The moment where someone might have backed it, but something threw them off. Will they continue their search, or has the damage been done? We explore that in a program where we put up different crowdfunding campaigns and have different judges every week come sit down with us and discuss things like their title, their pitches, their image they're used, and their video. Can any campaign make it through all 4 stages? And here's the thing, there's some definite jeopardy. Not only do the judges pick what they're going to wind up hearing for the week, so it has to be snazzy, but if there is too much backer pause, the campaign gets skipped over for that week. You can tune in on Wednesdays on YouTube or find the videos after Wednesday at 9 p.m. by going to backerpaws.com, and we'll have the latest video up there. Plus, you always can go to comicbookadvocates.com to see the archives, or go to our YouTube channel, which is simply under the name comicbookadvocates.com, for you guys to easily find. And that's something that if you're a creator listening to this, you should always be thinking about the branding aspect of what you do. You should always be thinking about branding and how branding can work for you or against you if you're not taking it serious enough. So we want you guys to always be part of this situation with us. We want you to feel like you're part of the show. And we can have that by you guys going to our Facebook, The Comics News Wire, and interacting. You can find us at comicbookadvocates.com, and we even have a place for you guys to send us emails built into a lot of our threads. Now, we talked about Backer Paws, we talked about our weekly thread with the comic book network that you can be part of, and the indie know week of. Every week's going to be different, of course, the Comics News Wire. But one of the things we also do is talk about the weekend forecast. That's right. We've turned Comic Cons into forecasts. And what you guys are going to wind up hearing in the next, couple months, hopefully, as you stick with me, maybe even years, you're going to start to learn whether the latest, greatest, amazing shows are headed your way. And even some shows that might be smaller, some new ones, some things that you want to check out. It's one of the things that we're offering you. One of the other things we offer you is a partnership with Creative Contract Consulting, that you guys can actually find a lawyer that I suggest, Gamal Hennessy, for all of your comic book driven needs. He's an amazing lawyer. We also have educational resources on our site to know about the history of comics, to really learn more about the comic book industry, and to acquire new skills. We also have, believe it or not, a virtual show floor. It's the Indie Comics Con, and you can find that on our site as well. Make sure to subscribe when you go to comicbookadvocates.com. If you want to check out the forecast, believe it or not, we have a URL for it. It's comicadvocates.com. The reason this site was made to help indie creators, but we also have mainstream news coming through our Twitter feeds. So keep you guys in the know, because we know that you want to know things about the industry as well as the independent creators. It should be all together and all at once. And that's what we try to bring you. We are also on Instagram. We are on the current TikTok as Comic Book Advocates. But I'm currently pushing for Mr. Anderson to get 1,000 followers so we can do live shows on there. And eventually, when we get Comic Book Advocates to start having live shows, that'll do its own live shows. See, we're trying to diversify. And one of the reasons we're on the radio is to reach those of you who might not be on Facebook in groups that are finding the comic books that I'm going to be able to advocate for in this program. This program is going to be considered a PG-13. So at times we're going to be clever with our wording to talk about more adult projects, but we're not going to focus on it. This is going to be something that we want you to be able to play at any point, anywhere you are, and not feel like you're going to not be safe for work. So that is our commitment to you. We're going to not have cursing. We're going to bring you a professional show about the comic book industry every week within 4 segments. And now we're always open to feedback. If you have feedback you want to give us, just again, go to our Facebook, Comics News Wire, and you'll find it right away. And that's when you're going to the Comics News Wire. I just want to make sure that you guys, it'll pop up. You know how Facebook is. And I'm telling you to use the Comics News Wire because we pop up right away when you do that. The official group of what we're doing right here is that one. So if you use that, and by the way, it's Comics, C-O-M-I-X. I should mention that for you listeners, because, it's a little bit of a trick here because I can show it on a screen when I'm on a video. I can't. I have to actually get back to the habit of spelling it out to you. So the Comics News Wire is found as YouTube, as a Facebook group for you guys to join and interact with us and just follow. And just giving it a quick look, we're seeing campaigns. There's the drawing of a Cthulhu monster. We have a hero standing strong. People talking about their campaigns, showing off their artistic schools. I even see Lady Death in the background. So, and we're always talking about things like Gamal Hennessy giving us information about a simple guide to creative contracts, Creative Contract Consulting. So it's a lot to tell you in just 10 minutes. Go to comicbookadvocates.com, and that time the comic is C-O-M-I-C-S. It's not comics. And I'll try to pronunciate is comics or comics. I know it sounds the same, but it is different. I hope that you guys join us in this program. Thank you for tuning in, and Now, on to something else.